What a way to start a week. Welcome to RECON, everybody. Denny Grimes here with the RECON cadre, and you guys are the RECONers. Today we have a brand new conversation for you, and this is going to be one that you've heard before. Might as well master it, right? So you're sitting at the listing table, and the sellers say to you, hey, we want to list it higher. Ever heard that before? We want to list it higher and leave room to negotiate. We've been working on this a little bit last week, so we're going to work on it now. So, Louise, how do people play?
Danny, I'm so glad you asked. Playing is easy, it's fun, and it helps you grow, which is why we're here. Put your name in the chat and let me know you would like to participate, and I will add your name to the list. We have four brave souls who have already posted that. And Danny, when you let us know, we will start.
We can go, and we got Don here. We've got Kelly all raring to go. They're the sellers at the table as well as yourself, Louise. So let's get it rolling.
Excellent. So Ellie and Kelly will go first.
All right, Kelly. So I see that you want to choose this strategy. Can you walk me through what makes you think that this is the best way to go?
Well, I think it's easier to negotiate down, wouldn't you agree?
Easier to negotiate it down. So that's what you're looking for, to negotiate it down or to net the most money?
Well, of course we want to net the most money, but I would think that pricing a little bit high would help us out, so we have room to negotiate.
I see. So tell me, Kelly, what worries you the most? If we price is too low or if it sits forever?
Well, I don't want to lose any money, so I'm
Okay,
concerned
of
a little
course.
bit about both of those situations.
So, okay. Other than this, not wanting to lose any money, why, okay.
All right, now time.
Yep.
A minute and five.
Okay.
You are
Okay.
lost. You're stuck in the desert. All right, so there's one. Let's go. Who's next? Then get them ready, and I want just a couple words I want to share for Ellie.
Gregory Dudley, and
All right,
Louise. Gregory,
Gregory, get your mic on.
Yep,
Ready
there you
to
go.
go.
we
Go,
want
yeah.
to list.
Wait. So, Ellie, I'm going to give you some feedback after I go with Gregory. I'll give you both some feedback. All right. Now, I want you to here's my first little crumb. We want to list it higher and leave room to negotiate. Sometimes there's a message in what's not said. So, Gregory, you ready to go?
Ready.
Groovy, go.
Hey, Gregory, we want to list it higher and leave room to negotiate.
Oh, well, that's a possibility to be. So let me understand correctly. You want to list it higher than what the market's saying it's worth and leave room to negotiate. Is that what you're saying?
It is, because everyone always wants a deal. So we'll let them think they got a deal when we negotiate it down.
Hmm. And why do you think listing it higher would help you?
Because everyone wants to negotiate, right? No one's going to pay the price out of the gate. They're going to ask for something less, just like when I go to buy a vehicle. I negotiate the price.
Well, other than the price, what else would you want to do? Would you want to have different terms as far as how you sell it?
That's a good question. I didn't think about it, but the only thing on my mind right now is the price.
Just the price. You're not looking for a quick close. You're not looking for any kind of seller concessions or anything like that.
I didn't think about it. Should I?
Why don't you just give them a whole lot more ideas to add to
Yeah.
this list? They're sitting on Santa's lap, and now you're giving them a lot of things they should be asking for. All right?
Yeah.
At least Frank gets that joke. All right, one more, and then I'm going to sprinkle some stuff on you. Who's next?
Mohammed and Don are next.
Hey, Mohammed, we want to list it higher and leave room for negotiation.
I understand that you want to make sure we don't leave any money on the table down, and that's natural. We want some cushion for
Yeah.
negotiation. Is that right?
Yeah, if it's natural, that's what we want to do. You bet.
Well, Don, however, in today's market, buyers are very savvy when it comes to a house listed above their filters. You know, like how when you're searching a house, you filter the price ranges. So say the house we have is exactly in that criteria, but the price isn't in their filter range. How are we going to get an offer for that, John?
Well, I guess that's
All
your
right,
job to negotiate with the buyer, right?
Mohammed, I'm going to call time. All right, so I'm going to sprinkle some crumbs. Years ago, they used to advertise cigarettes on TV. They better remember that. I don't know what year it came out. You're not allowed to do that anymore. There was an ad out there. I would rather fight than switch. Frank, you remember that? Was that Lucky Strike? I'm trying to think it's Lucky Strike. No, what was it? Winston.
No,
Tarrington.
Tarrington or something like that.
Carrington.
All right. Well, now that it really matters. Okay. So,
Yeah, I don't remember that.
all right. I'm going to demonstrate something as a reminder from last week. So I guess we've gone around the block. Kelly, you're next, right?
Correct.
So why don't you be, no, I'm sorry, Louise, who is the, yeah, go ahead and you be the seller, Kelly, go. I'm going to be the agent, go.
Hey, Denny, we want to list it higher and leave room to negotiate.
Awesome. How much higher would you like to list it?
We want to list it $10,000 higher than.
Okay. We can certainly do that. So what you're saying, you've made the decision to hire me to get your home sold. Is that true?
Yes.
Now I'm going to stop right there. What was the difference in the way that I handled that? We talked about this last week. We said, what?
Agree with them.
Agree with them, give them what they want up front, and then have a conversation about it. The other thing, I want you to write this down. Whenever there's a number involved, what do you want to do? You want to quantify. What if he'd have said, hey, well, I want to list it $100 higher? Every one of you started out combative, trying to like, I'd rather fight than switch, rather than agreeing with them. So what you're going to morph into is what we call the better way listing, the better way listing program or positioning conversation, which is, okay, you want to list it 10,000 higher. I see. Then what you're saying is you made the decision to hire me. Okay. Then if that's a no, then stop. That's my hint so far. All right. Who's next? I mean, Kelly, you're with who?
Chance. Kelly is taking a chance with Chance.
All right. I trust you. I gave you some little tidbits there, Chance. Go.
All right, Chance. We want to list it higher and leave room to negotiate.
Okay. I can definitely understand that. Whenever you say you want to list it higher, I mean, how much higher are you thinking?
We want to list it about $10,000 higher.
Okay, so right now market value is around 450. So you're saying that you guys would like to put it out there for 460?
Go back, do it over again, Chance. You missed the second step.
But he might get to it. He might get to it, though. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we want to do, Chance.
Okay. Well, I guess I missed the second step.
Well,
I'm agreeing with you for the 10,000.
okay, that's okay. But the second step, where would you go naturally? So what would you say next? Now you know that the market analysis says 450. He wants to list it at 460. Where would you go next with that?
I would say I would ask if he felt like that 10,000 was going to be the amount that they were okay, to
Right.
sell it or lose it, I guess.
So the step that Kelly was talking about is, okay, so you want to list it. See, going back, here's the thing. Going back, we want to list it higher and leave room to negotiate. You're only hearing we want to list it higher, not we want to list. Have you ever had a conversation with a seller at a table that did not want to list?
Right.
So they do want to list. They just want to list it higher. So how much higher? 10,000. So have you made that? Here's the second step. Have you made the decision to hire me to get your home sold? You're going to close for the business, because if they say no, don't even go down the road of the listing price or the initial positioning, because there's trouble in River City. Who remembers?
Right.
All right. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Groovy.
All right, Kelly. So, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So, if we can sell it higher
No,
at that point,
no. Hang on. I'm going to coach you on this. When you say if we can sell it higher, what are you saying?
False hope.
Hang on, Kelly. Hang on. You guys got to get this. If we can sell it higher, you're giving them the hope that it can be sold higher. The question is, if we position it $10,000 higher at 460, have you made the decision to hire me?
okay.
Just say that and see where Kelly takes it.
All right, Kelly. So, if we position ourselves to where we're at 460 to sell it, are we good to get this thing wrapped up for you to hire me to sell your house?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go with you.
Okay. So, another question for you. So how did you guys come up with that 10,000 over?
I'm going to call time. Who's next? Get ready. I'm going to give chance of feedback. Who's next, Louise?
Rowan is next.
When he answered your question, this is for everyone. What did he say?
He said he's ready to hire me.
I'm sorry?
He said he's ready to hire me.
No, he didn't say that.
I think
I'm ready to hire. So when you ask the young lady, your lifelong soulmate, hey, you want to get married? I think I do. That's not a yes to me. So when you hear the word think, I want you to what? Think. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes.
All right, good job, Chance. Thanks for being a good sport. Who's next, Kelly? Louise?
Rowan is next. Rowan is with Don. Nope, with me.
All right.
Let's go, Rowan. We want to list it higher and leave room to negotiate.
I understand, Louise. Just so that I can get some clarity, how much higher would you like to list it at?
Oh, I think let's go like $1,000 over.
Okay. And if we agreed to list it $1,000 over, would I be the right agent to work with you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Louise, what do you hope to do by listing it $1,000 over?
Have some room for negotiation.
Okay, and Louise, could it be possible that the market says no to that price?
Do you really think $1,000 is going to make that much of a difference on a $900,000 listing?
Yeah, so I was going to go there. So if it's $1,000, again, I don't know. This was kind of a test case. Most sellers aren't going to say that, but it was good to find out. Are you going to get into a Jello wrestling match over the 1,000? Probably not. Okay, good. All right. And basically, here's the thing. No matter what they said, okay, Rowan, here we go. I'm going to go 10,000. What are you going to say? 10,000 over the market analysis. The market analysis said 450. I want 460. What are you going to say?
Well, I guess $1,000 was a bit small, but I was gonna ask.
No. I'm changing the role on you. I'm saying I want it 10,000 over asking. What are you going to do? What are you going to tell me? I want 10,000 over what you're suggesting. How do you answer me?
I would ask, could it be possible that the market would, we wouldn't receive any offers if we positioned it $10,000 over?
You got to go back. Are you saying if we positioned it 10,000
Oh,
over?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I wanted 50,000 over what you're suggesting. This is a trick question, you guys. I wanted $50,000 over what you're suggesting. All right, here's the word. you're suggesting. Remember, when we go and present past, present, and trends, there is no you're suggesting. It's never your. I think you is a pronoun. Your might be a pronoun too. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've taken English. It's something, but it suggests that it's your number. Does that make sense to you guys? The market is suggesting 450. So when they say, well, I want to list it 50,000 over what you're suggesting, you've never used the word your. Don't let them use the word your. Are you getting me on this? Because they want you to take ownership of that number, and you will forget the conversation totally, but they won't. Matt's favorite words, 3 words, but you said. That makes sense? All right, next, Louise. Thanks so much, Rowan. Who's next?
Thanks, Denny.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry and Dawn.
Jerry, we want to list it higher and leave room for negotiation.
Hi, Don. Sure. That sounds good. If we're listed higher than if we listed higher, would you hire me today to represent you in selling this house?
Yeah, if the number's right, sure.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. So in saying that you want to list it higher, are you aware that if you list it higher, would you be considering to do a price reduction if we don't get any interest parties, say within 30 days?
Okay, now I'm going to give you a better saying than that. So you've got the first part right. You're going to see this happens a lot, you guys. We're going to refer back to the 3 outcomes. Jerry, do you know what the 3 outcomes are?
I am not aware. The outcome is to get the listing, I would think.
Well, you've already got the listing. No, you guys, this is the most important behind me. If you haven't pinned me, take a picture of it. Louise will actually put it in the chat. You guys, every one of you should be using this listing form. So because the conversation goes like this, okay, $10,000 higher. I'm your Huckleberry, right? All right, now that we've agreed to work together, there's the knuckle bump. The knuckle bump. May I share with you what's going to happen next? It's the question. Listen, everybody wants to know what's happened next. When I was watching Landman, I always was waiting for the next episode because I wanted to know what was going to happen next. And then you're going to say 1 of 3 things. You guys that are using this form, if you believe in this form, put it in the chat for the non-believers. This is salvation when it comes to the listing table. You can tell them what's going to happen next. You can say it in 20 seconds. Low to no showings, no offers, or it sells. Bingo. So if they said, I want to list it, I'm going to stay with you, Jerry. I'm going to list it $50,000 higher. What do you say?
If I list it for $50,000 higher, would you consider reduction if we don't get any interest?
No, go back.
I don't want to talk price reduction until you know my number.
If it's 10,000, I'm going to say that's not 10 anymore. It's 50. Okay. So if we initially position it 50 grand higher, am I the one you're going to hire?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought if we list it for $50,000 higher, am I the one you're going to hire?
Yes. All right. Now, what if I say I want $100,000 more? What do you say?
I'm willing to list it for whatever price you want if I'm going to be the agent to present to take this listing. But that being said,
no, stop. No, we don't want to do that. It's the same thing you say all the time. No, what if I want to list it $1 million over? I mean, at some point you're going to have to draw the line, right?
At some point you draw the line. This is the number you want to list it at, correct?
Here's what I want you to get out of this. If they want to list it higher for negotiation, the whole thing is to, yes. First of all, can they list it at $10,000 higher or $50,000? Yes, they can. Yes. So if we do that, if that's your initial point of exposing it to the market, am I your agent? Yes. Great. Knuckle bump. Now that we've agreed to work together, may I share with you what's going to happen next? That's all there is. That's going to take you to no matter what price. Now, again, at some point in time, that number is going to get so high. Now, when you guys take the $10,000 away, take it up a level, and let's see how we have it. Well, now let's say it's 50,000 or 75,000. Who's next, Louise?
Next is Jerry with Dawn.
Jerry
No, we
just
did
went.
that. Tiffany with Kelly.
Okay.
All right, let's go, Tiffany.
Right. So,
Well,
Kelly, how much higher would you like? It's awesome. You want to list your home for how much higher did you say?
We want to go $75,000 higher.
Woo, awesome. I would absolutely love to see that too. And let's see. If we list it for 75,000 over the asking price at the price that you want, are you ready to get this thing started?
I'll list with you, yeah.
Okay. And outside of the price, is there anything else that is concerned that you have concerns about that we can address now?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, now that we've agreed to work together, may I share with you what's going to happen next?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. We have our first entrance to the market, which should be our biggest and best, correct?
Correct.
Right. So if we put your house on the market, there's three things that are going to happen. We're going to get low to no showings. We're going to get some
good. You're
showings.
going into that. That's good. Now, here's the point. Could you possibly be talking to a seller that wants to position it outside a range you're comfortable with? Now, here's the only thing I'm doing different. When I call it the better way listing conversation, let me go back to that slide. The better way positioning conversation. The better way is, number one, if they want to list it $10,000 higher, is there any possibility they might get $10,000 more than you suggested? Yeah. Or could you tell them within 100% certainty they're not going to get it? I don't know why we've been conditioned. The first three role plays, you're already being combative, say, no, don't go up there because my number's got to be right. Your number's got to be wrong. But there may be a number in which you're a little bit hesitant. The first thing you want to find out is, okay, so if you want to list it $75,000 higher, so are you saying, Kelly, if we initially position it at that number, that you want me to represent you?
Yes.
But I haven't committed to it yet. All right. This is where I want you to go next mentally. So Tiffany was taking you into the, can I share what's going to happen next? Just a fine point. There are not three outcomes. One of three outcomes. Big difference. Here's the next point in the conversation. This works with any seller that may be smoking sweet and low is, well, Kelly, let me ask you this question before we make that decision. You've already said you're going to hire me. So Tiffany, I'm being you right now. Let me ask you, based on the three things we went over, what will you do if the market says no to that positioning? They will have to answer that question properly for me to take the listing. So don't go off this role play and think that I'm asking you to take all kinds of listings no matter what the number. I want you to get their number. Three steps. I want you to get what they think they should position it at. And if you agree to that number, are they going to hire you? And the third thing is, now you're going to decide if you want to take it or not. And the reason for me, one of the criteria for me is, if the market says no, what are you going to do? If they have motivation to sell, they're going to capitulate, and they have that level of motivation, there's a strong chance I'm going to work with them, because I have walked away from so many listings on my laurels, and somebody else took the listing high, and eventually, they capitulated and it sold. So you have to make that decision. And I want you to make that from a business standpoint, rather than getting combative with them right up front, because I've seen people lose a listing because they weren't going to take it outside the market range. Let's try another one, Louise. And we'll have overtime today, and at 10 o'clock, we'll spend 10 or 15 minutes having conversation about this. This is going to make you kind of bulletproof on your listing presentations. Louise, who's next?
Okay, next is Nina with me.
Good, go.
Nina, are you game? I added you because I thought you would
I'm
be game.
driving. Yeah, that's
No,
fine.
well, if you're driving, let's not. I don't
No,
want to.
that's fine. I'm good. Go ahead.
All right.
So,
Hey, Nina.
Uh-huh.
Please be safe. We want to list it higher and leave room to negotiate.
Okay, awesome. Louise, how much higher are you wanting to list your property?
Let's go 50,000 over.
50,000 over. So our initial price is 400,000. So you wanting to list at $450,000. I'm just curious if we're able to agree to list it, if I'm able to agree to list it for $450,000, am I the one to help you get this property sold successfully this time?
Yes, for sure.
So I'm going to pause you right there. Don't lose your train of
great.
thought. Pause right there. Now, didn't that flow better? You quantify the number. If I agree, if we agree on that initial, are you going to hire me? I mean, there's no conflict. That's what she wants. That's her level of treatment. Okay, you're doing a great job with this. Now you have to figure out if you want it or not. So, all right, keep going, Nina.
Okay, great. Well, if we agree at $450,000, and I will be helping you. I want you to be aware the market is looking at this price at $450,000. How would you react if the market doesn't accept this initial price when we put this property on the market?
Then we could come down a little bit because we have extra room in there.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you would want to come down because we would have extra room. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have the room to come down.
Okay. How much are you willing to come down if the market doesn't accept this initial price?
Well, I was thinking maybe you could show us some comps and see where we are in the
Let's
future.
stop there. All right. So how much it's fair. I understand why you'd ask the question. I probably wouldn't ask the question. It's a future event and you don't know what kind of reaction you're going to get. So ask them in advance how much you're willing to come down isn't the right question.
Okay.
So I would go probably like this, Louise, if the market says no to 450, let's say the market's going to be seemingly based on the numbers we looked at. Let's say the buyers are somewhere around the 400 number.
Okay.
Hang on, Nina. What will you do then, Louise? See, the bottom, it doesn't matter how much they're willing to come down. The issue is, are they willing to come down to where the market is? And if they say something like, well, I want to be there by the time my grandson's born, or I want to be there for my job, blah, blah, blah. That means they have motivation. At some point in time, they're going to have to take the right medicine. That's what you're looking for. The other thing, Nina, are you using this 3 outcome form?
Yes.
Okay. You ought to go. So if we start at 450, one of 3 things are going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And you go through that. What are you going to do? This market says no. Don't forget to bring that up. We have time for one more, Louise. Then we'll
Okay,
go to
thank
overtime.
you.
Okay, one more is Susan with Dawn.
Susan, we want to list it higher and leave room for negotiation.
Sorry, I wasn't ready. Okay, great. So if we agree to list it at this price, am I the agent to work with you?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so let me ask you then, what are you going to do? How are you going to react if the market rejects this number?
Well, we're not even on the market yet. Isn't that a little early to be talking about that?
Yes, but I want to set expectations clearly before we get going here. I don't want there to be any surprises.
What are the expectations? What are the outcomes?
Well, one of 3 outcomes is going to happen when we put it on the market. One is that we get low to no showings. The second one is that we may get some showings, but if we get offers, they'll be pretty low. And the third possible outcome is that it just sells. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I like option 3.
I like option 3 too.
The reason you will go through the 3 outcomes first just makes sense. Here's the 3 things that are going to happen. Based on that, if we don't get outcome 3, if the market says no, what are you going to do? That's why I was coaching Nina. She went through, well, what are you going to do if the market says no? It's better when you lay out, there's only 3 things that can happen and 2 of them are bad. So if outcome 1 or outcome 2 happens, what are you going to do if the market rejects that number? Does that make sense, you guys? So Susan, I know you nice. She's on my team, so she's been learning the 3 outcomes for the last several years. So good job on that. All right, so we can go into overtime. Thank you so much, Sherry. You can kill the camera top of the hour.